Okay, so you have 2 sheets basically, and if you ever did this, on your own, if you want to do this again, using the packet, they do sell the sheets of duct tape at like craft stores, and you can buy those, pick those up. And I also wanted to mention in the directions, it says to use, don't use scissors or a knife and rip it. You don't want to do that. I disagree. I got this off. I need to edit it. It can sometimes stretch the duct tape. So that's why we're using the X-Acto knives and the mat cutters here. So I'm going to pick this one up from the bottom. Okay, if I pulled it up from the top, then I would be pulling the layers off. So I want to pick it up from the first piece that I did, and then just flip it over. And this is where the paper towel comes in. Now my piece is a little bit longer, but I'm going to try and keep it straight here, and I'm going to put it about a 1/2 inch. If I line this up on the grid here, again, it's approximate. It doesn't have to be exact. So I'm going to set the first area down. Oops. And the paper towel is much more forgiving than the duct tape. If you stick duct tape onto duct tape, that's the end of it. So I'm just going to lay this down, and notice that I'm laying it down kind of, I'm not trying to lay it down at once. I'm kind of rolling it down, and I'm just going to pat it down. So that way, if you're kind of rolling it down, you don't get as many creases. And you can kind of pick up the paper towel if it sticks, you need to readjust it. So I'm just going to cut off the excess paper towel right now. I got a little bit of the duct tape there. We're going to cut this down a little bit, so not a big deal. Again, I'm going to pick it up with the first piece that I put down. Then I'm going to line it up. I have to stand up over top of it and line it up to where the paper towel is. And the purpose of the paper towel is, students were, ruining their whole sheets, and it was wasting a lot of duct tape. So the paper towel is just a buffer. It's not as sticky, so it's easier to work with. So I'm just going to fold this piece over. It's kind of like an accent piece. Then I'm going to fold this piece over. You see how it's a little crooked. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, as I'm folding it down, I'm going to kind of line it up so maybe it's not so crooked, and then see if I can't do that. Now, I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and just cut off the one edge so it's nice and straight. We're going to cut this down to 8.5. So I'm going to line this up and then cut. So I have one kind of straight edge there. Make sure that you have a sharp X-Acto knife. So again, I'm not going to put this on the one. I'm going to put it all the way over to the edge. And then 8, here's 8. 1/2 is a square. You can use a ruler too if your mat isn't showing the 1/2 inches. And you want to make sure that you're lining it up flat. You can see I have a little bit there that's not quite straight. We can adjust that later. And it should be, actually I need to maybe cut that down a little bit. I think it's like 6.5 inches. How would you, 6 inches. No, mine's a little tall. So I might cut this down later, but we're not going to worry about that. Okay, so here's your first piece, and we're just going to set that off to the side and then go on to make our little pockets.